Like I watched my council presentation on Greece, oh, sorry.
All right. Welcome to the Township of Sparta Environmental Commission meeting for Thursday, September 26, 2024. The meeting is called to order at 7:02. We are live in the council chambers at the municipal building and also live streaming at www.youtube.com/SpartaTWP/streams. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided to the public and the press on January 5th, 2024 by delivering to the press and posting on the township website a copy of the notice. Roll call, please, Christine.
Councilman Danielle Chiarella,
I'm here.
Chairwoman Kimberly Noel,
Here.
Vice Chair Neil Sarwine,
Here.
Christine Dunbar, Ted Gall,
Here.
Christine Rogers, Linda Tower, Barbara Kazaka,
Here.
Landon Teneri,
Here.
Robert Otto, John Groff.
Here.
Please join me in the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have no minutes to approve. We did get, at the last moment, 2 correspondence items. One is regarding the Rivers Conference. It's the 6th Annual Northwest New Jersey Rivers Conference. It's going to be October 18th from 8:30 a.m. till 4:30 at Centenary University. It is all about water, our rivers, the lakes and streams of northern New Jersey and the Highlands region. They're going to talk about the pressures of climate change, extreme weather, and new forms of pollution that are affecting the region's ability to provide clean and abundant water to the people who need it. So if anyone's interested in signing up for that, did anyone of our here sign up for it yet?
Do we know if
Not
Chris
yet.
is going?
Not
I'm
yet.
sorry.
I think Christine Rogers is going, definitely.
I'm going to.
You're gonna go too?
I went last year. It was wonderful.
I thought Chris Dunbar usually goes too, right? 'Cause
Yes.
she's on the
I think so,
watershed.
too.
Yes, yes, she was there.
But I know Christine Rogers said she was going.
Yes,
Wow.
All right, if you guys could let us know how it is, that'd be great.
certainly.
The second piece of correspondence that we got is regarding the Sussex County Farmland Preservation Plan meeting that's coming up on 10/21 at 7:30. They're inviting everybody to the first public meeting on an update on the 2008 Comprehensive Farmland Preservation Plan. The public is encouraged to attend and participate. We want to hear the thoughts on farmland preservation within Sussex County. There'll be a brief presentation as well as update our plan and time for public comment. Members of the County Agricultural Development Board and planning staff will be available to answer questions. So yes, it's going to be at the Commissioner Meeting Room at the County Administrative Center at Spring Street in Newton on Monday, October 21st at 7:30. So I think I'll definitely go there. I don't know if anybody else is available to attend.
I might try.
Yeah, I'm going to try to.
Thank you.
All right, that was the 2 pieces of correspondence. Next thing is an application. We have 1 application to look at. This one is, I think, for a restaurant that is over by Sparta Pharmacy. So if everybody wants to meet down there,
Really?
I think so. There's that empty space there.
By Sparta Pharmacy?
Yeah, behind it?
Yeah, I didn't realize
Oh,
that
so
was
new,
there.
it's a new building, you're saying?
No, I
No.
think it's a new building.
It's behind it. I took a look when I drove by today. I never noticed before, but there's a big,
There used to be like a nutrition store there. Okay.
Hair salon used to be there too. I don't know if that's the,
hair salon is next door to that.
Yeah, but the hair salon moved too.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they used to be
No, that was to the side. Okay. Actually, let's move that. This is the side, there we go. All right, amended site plan. I mean, if I recall, they're not doing much to
So
it.
where are we? Okay, this is,
That's Sparta
That's
United
Sparta.
Methodist Church. That is.
okay, so it's this way, this is town.
That's the job lots.
There's the job lot.
Yeah.
And there's another building there, besides Sparta Pharmacy?
It's the same
that-
building.
It's the same building.
Oh, I
It's
didn't
all
know there were
one
two
building.
tenants in there.
Yeah, there's 3 tenants.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is the existing pharmacy parking. Where do you pull in?
Oh, they're in the back?
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
yep.
No, it looks like there's two.
Yeah, the salon is vacant and the nutrition store behind is vacant.
Oh, that's right, that was
Yeah, you pulled from here. I think.
Yeah, pull in here,
Yeah.
you're right. That's it.
Mhm.
And so I think, it looks like they're taking the salon space and the nutrition store space.
Interesting.
I wonder what kind of restaurant.
Yeah, because,
I hope so.
I hope it's Indian.
Indian and or vegan.
It's a very small space
Vegan,
though.
yes, that's what we need, vegan.
We need a vegan restaurant.
We do. All right, so that's that. Is this the same thing? This looks like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's more details. Okay. Parking. Doesn't look like they're changing the parking.
Wow, so wait a second, they have, how many spaces am I bowling at, like 12?
It's always crowded in that parking lot.
Oh, no, here's more, so they've got 15?
But those
Yeah.
are the pharmacy parking spots there.
Yeah.
They might have like easement rights to the neighboring parking lots
You
where a
Take
takeaway restaurant.
employees parking
Yeah, you're gonna
in the
need
pharmacy.
5 or 6 employees, 7 employees.
That would be shown on the.
Yeah. There's this parking, this parking, this parking, and then, that's it.
Mhm.
Okay, so you got 20?
I don't think there's any parking back here.
Does it suggest 22 spaces?
Yeah, I guess so.
How many
Seems-
employees are gonna be in a building like that? 3 for the farm, 2, let's say 2
I
for
wonder
the
where the
pharmacy?
pharmacies park,
At
because,
least 3.
At least 7 or 8 for the restaurants, you know,
yeah,
busing, waiter, dishes, cooks. So you got 12 spots right there.
yeah,
Or-
and you can't expand here, and you
10
can't
spots.
expand here.
Is it takeout?
No, they have tables.
Okay, so
And
no,
this one has like the bar.
Now they're showing more
Oh,
spots
city.
back here though.
Ah,
Huh.
okay, this is the change.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Has its current location in West Milford, right?
What is it?
Now they're saying they
I
have
thought I said
parking
that
in
on
the
the
back.
document that there was one location in West Milford.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
do you remember what it did?
What kind of food it was?
Not sure.
Yeah, they're not gonna have a huge amount of tables, it looks like.
so then there are 32 total spaces, looks like.
Okay, much better.
Oh, look, there, this is where they're gonna have entry? Oh, no, here. Okay, here's entry.
Are they gonna disturb land?
Here is on
parking spaces?
I don't know.
I don't know, I
What's the name
guess
of the
you
place,
walk through
Ramirez?
here?
What's the name of the
It was
applicant?
Ramez and something.
Rames?
Mhm.
Ramez and Company.
Eating area.
It's hard to tell. They might disturb a little land. I can't tell. Is that the original?
Yeah, so now they're having 32 spots.
I mean, is that line the original?
Yeah,
Greater.
it looks like,
And then that's gravel now there.
and that's what they're adding.
So it's this like little section it looks like, but still.
But I think they were calling for the waiver for the impervious surface.
Rames
Yeah, 'cause-
Turkish Grill.
Turkish food, huh?
Mm,
Mediterranean.
That's interesting.
With that.
Restaurant signs.
Mhm.
What did it show, like four tables, or 5 tables?
Yeah, like 4, I think.
That's it?
That's
They
it.
say it's gonna be mostly a takeout restaurant.
4 tables, 15 who knows?
All right, there are 2 more. Let's see what these are. Oh, maybe I didn't even take the rubber band off.
So do we know what's being disturbed? Like, are they?
Yeah,
being-
we found it on that one. They're adding parking spaces.
Something about the east,
Doesn't look like it. Looks like it's just a gravel space.
Is it, are they gonna pave over a septic area?
Final as in.
Oh, this is sewer here, right? It's sewer here.
This is the survey, sewer map?
Right, yeah.
It's gotta be sewer.
Should say, what is it?
Oh, that's that corner. All right, let me see what the other maps were.
Yeah, they are adding parking spaces here.
Where's the sewer line?
Adding parking spaces here.
It looks like there's a grade.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is the seating plan. I don't know.
I don't think we
That's-
need to see
We
it,
don't
right?
care about that. We're not going to address the inside.
What is this line here? I wonder.
Retaining wall.
Oh, retaining wall.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find the sewer.
They have a grade, hold on. The other map was a little better. They had like a grades, train grades. There's
Oh,
one
there you
grade here.
Fuel? Is that what that says? Concrete? I can't read that.
All right, this one might be better to read. Because the section in question, this is still the front, is back here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new park area.
So it's a drain, it's not for a sewer line.
There's the one over here.
Yes,
Christine Dunbar just texted me and said that the applicant will continue to provide testimony from the architect and owner on October 2nd.
October 2nd?
Was this recently heard by the plan?
No, it usually comes to
I'm
us.
sorry?
Oh,
It
oh,
comes
does it?
first, right?
I don't know if they came back.
No, they revised the plans. Those are revised
Okay,
plans.
so they did, you're right, they did come
They
from the
did.
planning board already?
That's
We
why
haven't
we couldn't
seen
hear
it.
them
I'm a little
the
behind
last
watching,
meeting,
so I
because
gotta catch
they
back up.
were just sending revised
I
plans
remember
out.
seeing it.
Maybe, is there some dates on it?
I think they said like, yeah, I saw dates on this before.
2024.
No, that's the revised one. This one is 2014. This plan, but that's just the survey, right? That's just the survey. But they did revise it. So,
So it must have been before that date.
Yeah, so they're asking for variances, it looks like, in the minimum rear yard. They're going to,
mhm.
it's required 60 feet, and they want it to be 55 feet. Minimum side yard, it's required 10 feet, and they want it to be 5.3.
Because they need as much parking as they can get.
Yeah, because they need parking.
Looks like they are removing trees over here, right? Unless that's a canopy.
Yeah, I was trying to look at it on my maps. It's that little section.
And they're gonna increase
tell
the
if it's clear or
impervious
not.
coverage.
There's one?
Increase the impervious coverage
How much?
to 71.7,
Mhm.
From what?
40. 40 is what's required, and they want to move it to 71.7.
Only from that little expansion?
Wait, it looks like they're more than 40 right now.
I know, I don't
Yeah.
understand.
So 40,
Yeah, because it's paved already here.
Yeah, the
it's-
back already
all
has
paved.
some paving.
And I think gravel is
This-
also technically
Yeah,
impervious.
yeah, because
Even though
this
it
is
is
the only
pervious.
section that has grass,
Yeah, there's no way this is 40 right now.
yeah. So they must have had another variance before, which gave them something over 40 already.
This property has any affiliation? Why is it shown on?
It might be part of the
Okay,
same
because
lot.
they have easement, right,
Oh,
for the
okay. They share.
driveway,
Yeah.
right? I think that's
I
why.
guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there's an easement there.
Yeah.
That's, this isn't
Lot
the,
1,
Is it both
lot
lots?
26.
Yeah, that's our property, but I think they show both because they have easement, access easement to both of
Mm.
them.
yeah, what's up here is up here,
Yeah,
but this is not the easement for that apartment that's over here, right? Or even over there
Yeah,
for
right
the
up
Burger
here.
King. Okay, but something else, somebody else owns this piece, I guess.
yeah, and there's an
That
easement
was the
here
Wawa
too.
that I heard.
It would have been the Wawa.
It was gonna be a Wawa?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, that was years ago. And then they sued us when we denied them. And then they retracted the suit.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's an old song, we've heard it many times.
All right, here's that piece that I found.
They were denied right before the Captiva was first denied.
Oh.
6 years ago, 8 years ago.
So, I did not do an interactive summary of the lot. I forgot to do
I
that.
checked for the wetlands.
An
no
ERI.
wetlands,
Huh?
yeah. I checked wetlands, I checked all of that, there's
Yeah, it's got
nothing there.
nothing, right?
The only thing was the tanks that were on the side because it used to be the gas station, like years ago.
It was a gas station.
And they're still there?
And I don't know, because on the data miner at the DEP, it says duplicate, so we would have to contact the DEP regarding, I'm assuming they removed them, but.
Well, the gas station
You
was
never know.
here because that was actually a neighbor of mine when I was growing up. And they took his property through eminent domain to make the cutoff through.
Oh.
And I think, so this was the, it
Oh,
was
maybe that's why they call it duplicate,
maybe,
but they have it. they
This
have
road
it
here
in the-
wasn't here before?
correct, yeah.
Yeah.
When I
Wow.
was in high school, that was, what was the guy's name? Herzig, Herzig's gas station. Well, Herzig, the neighborhood owner, I don't know if the name of the gas station.
I can't remember the gas station.
Yeah.
Funny.
It was like auto repair,
Yeah,
mostly.
I can't picture it.
Yeah,
That's
so, yeah, that
funny.
road was not there when I was growing up.
Wow,
And the town took it eminent domain, and
yeah.
it was
To
a good,
build
this was a good
517?
eminent domain because
Yeah,
Yeah.
they compensated them
Can
fairly.
only
and they-
imagine without it, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. All
Yeah, I
right, so
remember
you
looking at
did,
the old
you
earth
did
data.
the ERI or, and you
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah,
find
like the,
anything?
yeah, like, no, nothing really.
I don't think there's anything there.
Yeah.
So the other, this is now gonna be one tenant and this is one tenant, so no longer three. This property.
Yeah, just two tenants. Because the restaurant's taking over
Right.
all those spaces.
Oh, is it like two separate restaurants? That's what I thought. Oh,
No, it's just
No,
one.
but,
oh, I get, okay, I
Yeah.
get
There
it,
were
I
two
get it,
units,
yes.
they're just gonna rent both
Okay.
units.
yeah, but it's odd, right? Because I don't think
That's,
you're
I guess
gonna,
that's why they have this entrance here, probably to connect.
yeah, I mean, look, the restaurant's not really connected.
Back of the house, kitchen area.
They say
That's
it's
what
a
it
takeout
is.
restaurant, but they have a lot of tables.
Total seating 20.
Yeah.
Is there expanding for parking or for the size of the restaurant?
See, I don't get how they get over here.
Well,
Here, here's the entrance to this
Well,
Yeah, but how does
portion.
this one connect to this
Oh,
one?
yeah, they're like completely opposite sides.
Like, look,
Yeah.
they're gonna go outside?
wait a second. So you back, this is a kitchen. This is utility area. These are bathrooms. Yeah, so you're not gonna go through
You go
here.
through the bathroom, just kidding.
Yeah. My college dorm, my freshman year, you walk through the bathroom to get to one section from another.
Yeah.
How do you, So these are not male and female, they're just two separate bathrooms for, I don't get it. So
Yeah.
how do they serve food? Oh, they pass food through the,
Through the bathroom.
Through bathrooms and the.
More
There's
info
gonna be a
from
host stand
Christine.
here and a host
Dunbar.
stand here? I don't
So
get
here's
it.
what
Yeah,
she
it is.
said. Yep, they're not asking for any impervious cover waiver. Employee parking in back needs to be striped along with restriping all around the building. We need to know how many seats in both restaurants. I understand there will be 2 restaurants. That's Christine Dunbar.
Oh, yeah, restaurant 1, restaurant 2.
She
Yeah,
must be
there's definitely gonna
watching
be 2
us. Is she
restaurants.
watching us and texting you things?
is she watching us?
She said
Watching us.
will be.
She's in California watching us. Everybody wave.
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
under the same name, restaurants?
I
They've
guess.
gotta be 2 different ones.
2 restaurants, they're adding the extra parking. I don't know.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, they have, and
Gonna be
two
competing
kitchens,
against each
back of
other.
house kitchen area, back of house kitchen area.
So not
That's-
expanding any of the building, it's just the parking that they want to expand?
Yeah,
Yeah. And even according to Chris, they're just gonna restripe it. So it looks like it's already there, it just,
yeah.
so so what are we supposed to comment on?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess
it's
there's
just
nothing to comment on.
Yeah.
I guess we have no comment. Because I don't know what we would say.
I've never heard of this.
But now Dory likes us to send a memo, even if we have no comment.
The comment is the comment.
Yeah.
They're not over for it. Not boring for the business model.
All I can say is I wish him luck.
There's not a lot of,
Yeah, right?
Yes,
Definitely wish them luck.
yeah.
I'm glad those empty spaces are getting filled. Yeah.
so fun fact, when I was in Greece, in Sparta in Greece, but the same size as Sparta in Jersey,
Yeah.
there were restaurants everywhere, like dozens and dozens of them. Anywhere, every side street had a restaurant, it was amazing.
Mm.
And I commented to somebody like, there's so many restaurants here. And he's like, what do you guys, don't you guys eat out? And we're like, yeah, sort of, I guess. Not like you guys do.
But I guess they go out
So what
every
do you
other
guys eat when
night.
you guys eat out? I'm like, we're Americans, we eat garbage.
Yeah.
Burger King and McDonald's and Subway and Chinese and, not garbage, I don't mean to say this. I'm on camera, I shouldn't say that. But we don't eat like fancy stuff.
Maybe all those apartments don't have kitchens.
I didn't see any, I guess not. I didn't see any fast food stuff when I was there.
No, that's,
Um,
wow, they have good food there.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Must be typing again.
Okay. Next section is public comment. We have no members of the public here. So moving on to reports. Dan, you want to go first?
Sure, and I want to make sure that my comment before about the restaurants were made tongue in cheek. I love our fast food restaurants in town. I frequent them often. So since we're in public record, I want to retract that. What is related to this committee? What's going on at the town? We did an ordinance for parking. We restricted parking to one side of the road in North Village. That was a safety issue that the residents there had brought to the attention of the township, and so we're acting on that. The other ordinance we also passed, or we introduced, was, it was bringing us in line with the new state regulations on floodplain regulations. So that was the other ordinance that passed. I don't think any other.
Is that in regards to when you're buying a home, you have to get that floodplain report?
Plus, whenever you're doing construction on a house or on a property that is in a floodplain, there's certain other land use ordinances that you have to, land
Okay.
use laws that you have to abide by. So this ordinance that we're introducing brings us up to state standards, which recently changed. I think at the next meeting, we're going to introduce a cannabis ordinance to allow certain cannabis businesses in town. I don't know exactly what the final product of the product meaning ordinance says, but there are 7 different types of cannabis businesses: grower, distribution, wholesalers, and there's a bunch of others, 7 in total. And at the township level, at the municipal level, you can determine which zones these would be, which businesses in which zones of which quantity. So you can say specifically, I would only like 2 retailers in this zone, and this many growers in these zones, or whatever. So it's very specific as to what they offer, and I think that first reading is going to come up at the next meeting. Ideally, this would come first before the planning board, because that's what the planning board's day job is, to determine what gets built where. But that is a long process, and so we want to sort of get ahead of it. And there's actually a catch-22. We have an existing ordinance at the municipal level that says that there's no cannabis businesses of any kind allowed anywhere in Sparta. We passed that 4-ish years ago, right around the time that the state passed the regulations, or right around the state constitution was amended, and within months we passed that ordinance. So right now the planning board had told us that well, we can't do anything because you've made it all not illegal, but not allowed. And so we were like, well, will you tell us what to do? And they're like, well, you've said they're not allowed. So we're in this sort of catch-22. So I
Okay.
think this kind of breaks that.
Okay.
So I guess my point is that once the planning board starts looking at the master plan, we could make amendments. This is just sort of a first pass at it. What else? I wanted to ask about we talked about the minutes earlier. We are, at a municipal level, we are backlogged on our minutes for many of our committees, including this one. So we're trying to get caught up, and we talked about ways to sort of speed that process along. And so I think over the next couple of months, I think we'll make some good progress there. I wanted to get an update on the green team, but I see that's going to be next on the agenda.
Yep.
And then there was an ordinance that we were circulating around for the tree removal
Yep.
ordinance. Do you know where we are with that?
Yeah, the next step is to send it to, well, actually have a meeting with Jim and review it.
Okay.
So we just need to schedule that.
I did read it again. I didn't read every word of it, but I read a lot of it. I do have some concerns, and one of the things I want to make sure that we document, or at least note for ourselves, is what our overarching thing that we're trying to accomplish here, because it seems on the surface very aggressive. Unless I read it wrong, that every time where a tree is removed that's over 6 inches in diameter, I think it was, that we have to have a permit. That sounds hard to police, and it sounds actually quite aggressive. And I found myself thinking about, like, what are we trying to accomplish? And on the surface, I can guess that we don't want people to come and clear cut trees. I think there were already ordinances existing that addressed that. And that's why I got confused as to, sort of a mission statement, what this is trying to accomplish. And I think once we come up with that, to hold up that ordinance against that mission statement, I think that might provide a little bit more clarity. Anyway, those are just some comments I thought of while I was reading it. I had some concerns. I don't think in its present form that the council would have a lot of appetite to pass something that aggressive. That's why I'm trying to think of, let's take it back to the roots, like what are we trying to accomplish here, and then let's hold it up to see if that actually accomplishes it, and maybe there's some middle ground, or middle ground's the wrong word, but make sure that we paint it in that light. I think that's all I can offer. Oh, yes, that was quite a, so we had a resident that had expressed concerns about the AO Polymer site. This is the Superfund site by the station park. And there was some discussions on online forums and otherwise about the safety of that area. We had commissioned Ecosciences to review the state reports that are regularly generated from the testing that regularly goes on that site, because it's still an active site, that the EPA at the federal level monitors. The report came back and we distributed that report. There still seemed to be, that didn't seem to quell the interest or discussion in it. So at the last meeting on Tuesday, we did bring 2 people from the EPA, from the federal EPA, coming from New York State, to discuss the concerns, or discuss the process and the concerns with the public. If I had to summarize, I want to say it was like 35-ish years ago, I can't remember exactly when at first it sat with the DEP at the state level for a while, and then at some point the EPA got involved and took remediation action by removing the source contamination and then doing as much cleanup as they could. And then during the process, they sunk 30-something monitoring wells around to assess the extent of the plume or the damage from the contamination. So the one thing I learned was that there are no technologies existing that can clean the site better than 300 parts per billion. And this is 300 drops in a billion drops, which is about the size of a 10,000-gallon pool. So these are very small numbers we're talking about. So they cleaned it down to 300 parts per billion. The safe range for drinking water is between 1 part per billion for the types of chemicals that we're talking about here, and 100. So we started out after the remediation to 300, and we have to go down from 300 to get to the 1 to 100 range. Beyond 1, they can up when it gets lower than 1, then they consider it finished. What they're as they sunk these wells, over time, some of the wells stopped registering any detectable levels at all for these chemicals. So they stopped after a couple of months of zeros. They stopped monitoring those wells, and the plume actually, got smaller because the concentration had dissipated. They're right now, on average, it sounded to me like they're still in the 150, 160, 170 parts per billion. So still very low, but still beyond the 1 to 100 range to continue to monitor. Now, from one reading to the next, sometimes you'll get a little variance. It doesn't continuously go down. You might get an off reading. It'll spike a little. Spike is like going from 170. Somebody mentioned one reading was like 220 parts per billion, but the next time could be 112. So as long as you see the trend line going down, you're fine. So you could have individual little mini spikes along the way. So what's the assessment is now that everything seems to be exactly as they had planned on removing the source contamination. So the contamination's not growing anymore because we removed the source. So and nature's now taking its course. One thing I'll also mention is that they're concerned about groundwater and vapor only in the groundwater, and they're only concerned about vapor in enclosed structures like the DPW shed. And so when they set up monitoring wells and stations inside the shed and found the levels in the shed to be well below the maximum safety range, so they're very safe in that enclosure. Outside the enclosure, you're in the air, and so there is no concern there. Another thing I learned from the gentleman from the EPA was that once those contaminants, if they were to leach into the river, the Wallkill River, which is there, or if there was a flooding event and some of them were brought to the surface, those chemicals volatilize very, very quickly. He said within a second, sometimes less. And so once, especially once they get into the river, to the flow of the river or in exposure to the air, those chemicals are gone. So the river itself is not much of a concern in that respect. The other line of questions that were brought up were the soil itself. They asked about testing the soil. While the safety threshold for potable water is 1 to 100, the safety threshold for the soil, I think, starts, and you probably know more about this than I do, at like 15,000 parts per billion. So we would nowhere near reach that level that the soil itself would have a problem. Because some people, I asked about contaminating, testing the soil, and that's just not, it's not an issue. So again, what we learned was, they refused to use the word safe because safe for some people might not be safe for somebody else, but what they did say is this is well within acceptable parameters that they're in their monitoring. So the conclusion is that the area is safe. It has city water in there, so nobody's drinking the water, the groundwater from in Station Park or the surrounding area there. The levels are continuing to go down, and they're not going away until it gets down to below 1 part per billion. And I was very happy with the conversation or the information that they offered. Anything I missed, you think? Yeah. It was a good discussion.
Yeah, it was good.
Actually, maybe at some point, some people did ask, well, why don't we just to be really, really sure, can we just test all those wells we haven't tested any? Can we just test the soil? The problem with that is the actual cost of the testing is borne by the owner of the property. And Polymer doesn't exist, but the current owner is IBM or IVM. I couldn't catch the name of the owner. And according to the EPA, they've been very, very cooperative, and has no pushback really at all. But when the EPA asks them to test something, they oblige and they test. But the EPA will only ask you to test things when there are scientific grounds for testing. Like they're regularly, I don't know how many times a year they test. But if there's no scientific basis for us to request a test, the EPA won't recommend it, and the client is under no obligation to pay for it. And these tests are not cheap. So the conclusion is we can't ask, we can't demand that the current owner do this testing of the soil, testing of these wells, and they're not registering anything at all. It would be superfluous or arbitrary, and then not grounded in any scientific need. So that's, and because it's not, that they're really not an issue there, and so there's no reason to just test, why not, just test it. I think that's all I can say about that. But thanks for reminding me. That was a 2-hour discussion. Yeah, is right.
It was good.
Yeah.
Neil, do you have a master plan subcommittee report?
Yes, at the last planning board meeting, our planner, Catherine Sarmad, gave a presentation on the new community engagement hub for the master plan re-exam. And there's a link to it from, I believe, on our township website homepage. And also, there's a survey that similar to the open space survey that we had. So everyone should go on there and take the survey if you haven't already.
So I tried to take the survey. It was making me log in. What was I doing wrong?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't taken it myself yet.
Oh, okay.
In real life. So
I would imagine you want to make sure that people don't take the survey more than once. So maybe it asks you just for an email?
I don't have a login to the master plans.
Well, it's probably one to
committee.
create one, right? There's
When
no-
they created the new website, you can now make an account, and there's like a community tab and stuff on the new website.
Yeah, I think you have to create an account, yeah.
Oh, is that what I gotta go do?
Yeah, but it's also not open till October 1st, it says here.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
Oh,
think we
that's
have
right.
a little
Yeah.
time.
Okay. And is the plan to put it on Facebook too? And
We can all share it
Okay.
in groups. I've already shared it in one. I haven't
Okay.
hit the other groups yet, but
Great.
yes.
Any other reports? Am I missing a report? Christine's not here, so I think we're good. Okay. Moving on to unfinished business. Okay. The last meeting, we reviewed the open space and recreation plan, the final draft that we got. But there were a number of folks who did make comments and send back edits to that final version. Are there any other comments that we didn't get yet to send back at this point?
I do have some comments, and I can send that copy now if you would
Okay,
like. I think that's
yeah.
probably more appropriate. Or I can also read some of them as well. They're nothing major, but just some typos I caught, probably it was already caught by some
Yeah,
other
do you
people.
know if you reviewed the very last version of it?
Not the
or-
most recent one,
Okay,
the one that was provided to us before the 12th.
okay,
But I also think it would be interesting if we can add the new zoning map. I know that just got added or completed, and that's available, so
okay.
that'd be great. And I'm not sure what's the plan with Rob's suggestion with the supporting documents that he provided and that was sent out. I don't know if that's of interest to incorporate into this, or what was that gonna lead to?
What did Rob send out again?
I believe Rob provided us 2 different reports. Let me see if I can pull them up.
The ones from Rutgers?
The one, yeah, the one
Yeah.
from Rob.
Oh, you're talking about the synthetic fields, the plastic grass fields?
No, it had to
Huh?
do with rain garden, the creation of some documentation that Rutgers had done regarding flooding in Sparta and different ways to remediate some flooding, and then there's some additional reports in there too. I don't think the plan was ever to incorporate them into the open space plan.
Or like, he brought it up, and I was just wondering if that was something that was gonna be referenced in maybe the appendix or something, or I didn't know.
Well, we're still talking about what we're gonna do as far as moving forward with the green infrastructure plan. It's here
Mhm.
in the agenda still. And then I thought he was getting the other reports from 2021 too, and then we were gonna talk through what are the next steps there,
Okay.
yeah.
And then it was just like 2 smaller things. It was one typo on page 12 for boardwalk playground and,
Okay.
or excuse me, page 24. And on page 12, I was a little confused with the second graph. There was a peach shaded graph on the pie chart. It didn't have
Okay.
any label. And on page 20, I really liked the recommendations that they provided, but I was a little interested with the Pauliscan Valley Trail extension. We don't really have the terminus of the Pauliscan Valley Trail completed yet, so to kind of suggest an extension to from the non-existing terminus, maybe that recommendation could have been to complete the Pauliscan Valley Trail. And then I also had a question about, excuse me, some of the maps were kind of difficult to read. And I don't know if Google Map screenshots are great to use for the longevity of a project like this.
Or if you're even allowed to.
Right, so I would recommend Google Earth or something, or some other map that they can then edit themselves and point out whatever particular items were on that.
As long as they have the rights, because we don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
And the final thing was, is there any, I didn't know if I fully read the final part, but is there a reference to when we're supposed to update this plan going forward so that we don't fall in a situation again where we're here, 15 years later and spend all this time and effort where we can then start to build off this continuously? So maybe that can be something that can be spoken about how long we should think about that. And then I don't know if there's the ordinance that says, Dan, when this was supposed to be done. I think we were talking about that we were way out of the parameters for when this update was supposed to be.
I was given a copy of an open space plan 5-ish years ago, and it wasn't an open space plan. It was just a list of properties. It was just a schedule of properties. And what I had wanted, what I had asked for in an open space plan was more of a, well, it doesn't matter. It was not that. So that was the last time an open space plan technically was done. It was a nothing plan, but before then, I don't think one even existed.
It was an inventory, that was.
It was an inventory.
that
It
was
was means to tell me to stop asking questions about it, because they kept asking questions about it.
But I think there's something that says it has to be updated every 5 years.
I think that makes
so.
sense, and I think you're right.
That's why you probably got just inventory, because nothing else was updated,
Well-
so you just got the list of the properties and that's it.
Yeah, well, at the time, the township was installing a plastic grass field over an existing natural grass field on Station Park, which is a property that was not purchased through open space lands, and they were using open space money to do it, and I strongly objected to it. And that during the course of that objection, I asked for the open space plan to see if that's even considered in the plan, and that's when I got this list of properties.
Landon, if you could email your comments, and I'll forward them to Barbara.
Yeah, sorry about the delay, but I
That's okay.
appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
But other than that, I was really excited to read through this plan. It was really in-depth, and I learned actually a lot of new stuff. And I think that this will be a great reference for, people of Sparta and people, nearby who are interested in using all of our great resources. So I'm happy that this was finally put together, and I think this is finally a great base plan that we can build off of for the next couple of years and keep going.
Yep, agree.
If the commission is amenable, could we put some language in there that has them discourage or prevent any future plastic grass fields from being installed in Sparta? I don't want that to be my unilateral recommendation. I don't know if everybody else
We
is
can certainly look at it again.
okay with it.
If
I
would
was,
fit,
Hmm?
yeah. Where and if it would fit, yeah.
and if everybody else is okay with it, because I am.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
very disappointed that we moved ahead a couple of weeks ago to install another grass field. At the same time, we're joining a lawsuit against PFAS chemicals. We're going to put PFAS chemicals within a few feet of the walk hill. It's absurd.
Mhm.
But anyway, that's,
Agree.
don't get me started.
Okay, so after those comments from Landon, and we look to see if we want to add anything about plastic grass fields, the next step then is to have a public meeting and a presentation about the final product. And also, I think the township council already got it. I was told the town council
Yes,
already
we
got
did
it.
get a copy.
Okay. So, and also share with the planning board. So share with the planning board after we get the final comments. Then make sure town council has it and they have their opportunity to do additional comments or questions. And then we do a public presentation of it.
Does the council even get it? Again, the Environmental Commission is an advisory board to the planning board,
They get it, yes,
I
they're
don't-
welcome to have a copy of it,
and I guess we could provide comments if we want to, but we're not a gating
yes.
factor at all.
No,
Okay,
we're not actually asking
When
you
I say we, mean the
to
council, yeah.
approve it or anything like that
good,
at this
okay,
point.
thank
Yeah.
you.
After then we have the public meeting, so I was gonna suggest, we do have 2 meetings in October, and I was gonna suggest the second one so that we had plenty of time to make sure invitations got out and everybody was aware that they could come and hear the presentation. So I think it's the 24th, October 24th. So unless anybody has objections, I'll propose that date as the next public meeting regarding the open space plan, and then we'll go from there. Good? Okay. Green team appointment. I have to be honest, I'm still not exactly clear what we need to do on this one.
I thought that the green team members were not officially
They have not been
appointed.
officially appointed.
Appointed, yeah.
Yeah. And so do we just need to send that request to Michelle?
I think so.
Okay. I'll do that then.
And I think, didn't we also, so we wanted to see if a member of the Environmental Commission would be sort of the captain of the green team, and I don't think we had any takers. So I think Plan B was to identify one of the green team members who wants to step up and be the captain of the team, and maybe that person would be another non-voting or another liaison to the commission. Just to make sure we have some conduit between the commission and that force, that labor force or that volunteer force.
I think we didn't ask anybody if they want, we didn't send out an email, Christine.
I did
asking
not,
them.
and I told you that I would, and I did not,
Oh,
so
I didn't either. All right, so we gotta
I'm at
still do
fault for that.
Okay,
I'll try to do it this weekend.
okay.
And that list that you gave me months ago, it's probably still the best list we have, right?
Yeah.
So my question's going to be, hi, my name is Dan, I hope you're doing well. Your name as the green team member, are you still interested? And B, if you are, we're going to nominate you, and C, if you want to be a captain, let me know, something
Yep.
like that. Okay.
Yep, basically. All right. Next item is the Green Infrastructure Plan and other studies that were done by Rutgers University. And I thought that Rob was getting the additional ones, or Christine was, but neither of them sent them to me. So I think we'll table the rest of that discussion until we see the other two plans. Dan, last time we shared the Green Infrastructure Plan that was created in 2021, and talked about that there were two other additional studies that Rutgers had done for us, and we should be taking a look at those and seeing if there's any actionable items on there.
This is a state plan?
No, it's not a state plan, it's Rutgers.
Oh, Rutgers. But did
Came
Rutgers do it on behalf or
on
for the
behalf
state?
of For us, Sparta
Us,
Township.
specifically?
Yeah.
Why?
I
Did we
guess-
engage them to do this?
I don't know, this was before,
I was on the commission in 2021, and I don't remember this. I mean, it's possible.
I think
Yeah.
Christine said that she recommended, before she was on the commission, that she recommended, she was approached by Rockers, and she recommended Sparta as one of the towns that they could work with. And then they approached Township, and that's how those plans were created.
Was this part of?
Abrupta? Chris Abrupta?
Yeah, I think this was part of the rain garden project.
Right, okay, it
we
was
did
with
at Pope
Abrupta,
John.
yeah. Okay. Interesting. I know that at the League of Municipalities conference last year, I did go to a seminar on infrastructure and vulnerability. That's one of the topics over here, climate change vulnerability assessments. And I think that there are some grants available to offset the cost of doing these studies. Anyway.
I think they were done free. I don't think we paid for them back then either.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah. All right, next item, Sustainable New Jersey certification?
Christine Rogers and I met this week. Sorry, Barbara, you got your calendar mixed up, and Chris Dunbar was
that's what you were talking about.
away. I've done that so many times. So we went down the list of actions and started identifying the actions that we either already have or that we think are feasible.
Okay.
And will be, there's a master spreadsheet that Sustainable Jersey provides that we'll start updating and sharing.
Okay.
So
When does our current certification run out?
in 2025, we need to recertify.
March?
Well,
You know when? Like, if
I
it's
don't-
January, we got a problem, right? Because January's like
No,
3 months
Yeah.
I
away.
think
It's
it's like
not
May or
January.
something.
no,
right?
yes, I don't know whether it actually expires, but we need to recertify in 2025, and that certification process doesn't end until when is it, November?
Oh, so we got plenty of time.
Yeah, we have all of next year, or most of it.
Cool.
So it's a good idea to start now. Everything we're doing.
Does an open space plan update get us points?
Yes, it should.
Should get us a lot.
There's some other good ones that we should be able to do. The master plan rewrite might
Oh,
also,
yes.
I'm not sure about that.
That's
Do you need any
interesting.
help from anybody at this point? The rest of the commission, or,
Well, there are 4 of us now, so,
okay.
but we can certainly, anybody wants to jump in, that's fine.
Okay.
How about John? Would you want to jump in? I'm not putting you on the spot. I guess I just am.
Yeah.
Do you know what we're talking about? You can say no.
Yeah.
You do?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay. So the New Jersey, at the state level, has what they call a sustainable jersey, some kind of a certification. And there's silver, gold, and platinum, bronze, silver, and platinum?
Bronze, silver, and gold.
It is gold. Okay, I thought they skipped over one of these things, I guess. So if, and every municipality is encouraged to do this. And to doing it means there's a checklist of things you can do that's really environmentally nice. Have a green team is one. We just talked about one, having an open space plan. And so things that promote environmental sensitivity, that's the right term, will get you so many points. So there's a schedule, and there's like 100 things on the schedule, and this thing is worth 10 points, this is worth 4 points, this is worth 2 points, whatever. And if you achieve X number of points, you get bronze certification, Y number is silver, and then I think there's only 4 gold in the state. At one point, there were very, very few gold.
There still are very, very
Yeah,
few.
maybe 0, I think last time, it was very, it was single digits, I think, yeah. So we're bronze?
Yes.
Okay. And we're trying to see if we can get to silver. And so really what it means is you have to look at this schedule of things, okay, what's feasible for us to do? We can do this, we can do this, we can do this, maybe we can do that, maybe, I don't know. And so the team that we have is going through that list to see, which things can we achieve by whatever our date is, to book these points and then get an I Love Me certificate that says, hey, you're now a bronze or you're now a silver sustainable jersey. And we get to advertise that as, our township is a silver or a bronze sustainable jersey town. So they're looking for people to help out with looking at things you can do, and maybe some things involve the school. Anyway, so if you're interested, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if that's something that sounds cool. Since we can't have a quorum of people meet, that violates Open Public Meetings Act in New Jersey. So since there are 9 members, we can't have we have to have fewer than 5 people in any subcommittee. Otherwise, we have a quorum and we can do things. And so that's why the green team is only 4, or the sustainable jersey team is only 4. But since you're not a voting member, if you want. Anyway, just to give you some background.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
You might want to visit the Sustainable Jersey website and
Yeah.
get a login there.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a cool website.
Yeah. It has everything, all the actions and webinars and presentations.
Look at it, thank you.
Yep.
Did I hear somewhere that the schools were going to start the Sustainable Jersey for schools?
There is a
Oh,
sustainable
interesting.
jersey for schools, yes. And the middle school has been thinking about doing it. Kara Johnson and I have had discussions about it, but I don't know if she's moved forward with that.
I had always wanted the schools to adopt some kind of a food waste recycling program, because they're best equipped, because at their point of collection is very tight.
Yeah.
They should be able to manage that well, and I haven't been able to push that forward, so maybe I should try to do that again.
One of the sessions I attended at the last summit, I believe, I think I mentioned it to you, that just like the Newton School is doing a really good food waste recycling program, and there's some other schools in the
Newton
area.
Newton has a food waste recycling program, but I did meet with the person, it's very unstructured. Like, it relies on people to go to a certain place and drop food off in their recycling center.
I think it's better now.
It is? Okay.
Yes. Let me see if I can dig up that presentation. And I'll see.
Okay, that'd be interesting, yeah. I know that Andover, there's the food,
It might be the Florence Bird School.
no, there's a company that does food waste recycling in Andover.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, really?
I can't think of the name of the,
Yeah, I can't think of it now.
it's like Andover Recyclables, but it's not that, it's,
No, it's over on,
yeah, anyway. I always thought about maybe even asking them, like, do you have any best practices? Or if you had to design a program, what would you do? I just haven't gotten to do it yet.
I'll make a point to send that to you.
Yeah, please do, thanks.
All right. And the new business item, I think this is you, Neil, free
Yes.
technical assistance on a climate vulnerability assessment.
Yes. This is something that we need to, actually, this is something I think the planning board subcommittee should be interested in, because it's part of the climate change, comprehensive climate change-related hazard vulnerability assessment that will earn us points, and it's also a requirement for our, to adopt in the master plan. So there is a webinar on this on December 3rd, and the application deadline for the free technical assistance is December 20th.
Wow.
So this is something,
It's coming up
I'll
fast.
pass this on to the
Yeah.
subcommittee. And that's, you take a look at that. There's another interesting webinar the Sustainable Jersey ran this week that I attended. It's called the Direct Pay Plan, where tax-exempt organizations, municipalities, and schools can get tax credits, even though they don't pay taxes. They can get tax credits for alternative fuel vehicles, charging equipment, investment tax credit for jolt, solar, geothermal, small wind, et cetera, and production tax credits for different projects,
You said schools and municipalities, or just schools?
schools and
And
municipalities.
okay.
And here it says that you can get a $7,500 credit for light-duty EVs and plug-in hybrids. And in one example, they show, they call them adders, direct pay adders, which are other programs that can give you another discount or rebate. So one example is spending $24,000, or a lightweight EV costing $24,000 with the NJBPU Clean Fleet Grant of $4,000 and the direct pay tax credit of $7,500. You end up getting the $24,000 vehicle for $12,500.
Wow.
This is a new program, and I think it's something that might be of interest.
Yeah, we do replace our vehicles quite regularly at the township level. I brought this up with the manager a couple times, and I'll bring it up again.
Can you share the link?
I'll share this, yes.
Okay.
I will do that. And the other thing is, I'm attending this year's Environmental Congress tomorrow at Rowan University, so
Cool.
I have a long drive in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
But I'll hopefully, last year's was really good, and I'm sure this one will be just as good.
All right, let us know what you learned.
I will.
Great. All right, anything else? That's it for new business. Anything else that we didn't have on the agenda?
I think I'll mention very briefly, so I was, I attended a academic lecture, academic conference in Sparta, Greece 2 weeks ago. Gave a welcoming speech there as well. Conference was actually held in our name. And the 2026, this is an annual conference that they have in Sparta, Greece. Met with the mayor the next day. It was fun. But in the 2026 conference, which will be the 6th annual conference from the Sparta Institute, will be held in Sparta, New Jersey. So we have a committee set up to plan for that event. We're broadening the scope of that committee to not just be the committee that will plan the event together with the people from Greece that are planning the conference that they do every year. But also, we're sister cities with Sparta, Greece, and so we wanted to expand the scope to be a sister city committee. And what we wanted to do, not just to planning the conference, but to also explore ways that we can start building our relationship as sister cities. We've been sister cities since 1969. We really haven't done anything with that relationship until this year when I went to visit. I'm hoping that so we're gonna, in this committee, we can start talking about ways we can work together on different things. Maybe there are student exchanges, maybe there's business exchanges. It's not really environmental so much, but in Sparta, they do have a lot of archaeological sites, as you can imagine, because the culture is 2,500 years old or more. However, a lot of those sites, the old sites, are not very well maintained and presented in Sparta. There's the Roman Acropolis, which is in pretty good shape in terms of being presentable, but a lot of the ancient Greek sites are not in good shape. And I asked the mayor of the council that what keeps you up at night. That's the first thing they mentioned, is that we have an opportunity here, we're just not taking advantage of it. So I thought there might be kind of exchanges where if somebody is interested in archaeological stuff, maybe they can go there for a couple of weeks and work with people to help clean up the sites and stuff.
Or an annual trip to do archaeological
Something like that, too. So if you're interested in joining this Sister City Committee, working with people and our friends in Sparta, in Greece, let me know. And that's all I have.
All right, anybody have anything else? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Landon. Ted seconded, all in favor?